A couple days ago, I woke up to some relatively splendid news. The official Tales of series social media accounts have announced that they will be revealing the next Tales of Remastered this summer. Now yes, this was an announcement announcing an announcement, but I am still filled with joy. For those unaware, Tales of is without a doubt my favorite RPG series of all time, with one of the titles being my third favorite video game ever made. So just knowing we're getting something else soon is pretty nice. So far we've only gotten 2 remasters for the series in recent years, those being Symphonia and 𝐤𝐬𝐧𝐝, but there are many more titles still stuck in the past and lost to time, or have never been released outside of Japan at all, and that's what I wanted to discuss today. I'll be counting down my choices for this upcoming remaster, whether it's for better visuals, quality of life changes, or just the opportunity to play them again. These are my top 5 picks for Tales of Remastered. Keep in mind this will be more so a wish list as opposed to predictions. Knowing my luck, none of these will be the next title, but I'm holding on to hope until further notice. Before we get started, feel free to like or dislike the video. I will greatly appreciate it either way, and if you make it to the end, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you join our community. Starting at number 5, we have Tales of Destiny 1 and 2. It will probably be a little controversial to have these at the bottom of this list, but hey, at least they're here. Now, funnily enough, Destiny was originally made for the PS1 and then remade for the PS2, and it's that PS2 director's cut that I feel absolutely deserves the remastered treatment, seeing as it hasn't been playable on any platform since the PS2, and that version of the game was never sold outside of Japan. This is a perfect opportunity to get newer fans familiar with the series' roots, and give more fans across the globe a chance to play this legendary entry. But the elephant in the room is, what about Destiny 2? I fear that, considering the way they handled Symphonia Dawn of the New World, Destiny 2 will be overlooked and excluded. Which, if you ask me, would suck. I know most of the Tales sequels don't hold a candle to their predecessor, but I don't think they should be ignored either. If we get the Destiny director's cut, we should get Destiny 2 as well. Package them together like they did with Symphonia Chronicles on the PS3 and the 𝐒𝐥𝐬𝐬 duology. However, bandainamco has shown to be more lazy nowadays than ever, so I don't expect them to handle this with integrity, but I do stand by the idea that the director's cut of Destiny should be accessible on modern platforms. Moving on to number 4, and undoubtedly my most unlikely pick, Tales of the World Radiant Mythology. This game holds a special place in my heart because it's actually my first Tales game ever, and it's the one that got me into the series. If it wasn't for this entry, I wouldn't be making this video today. Now, while I do know it won't happen for a variety of reasons, I still wanted to highlight it in this video since I wholeheartedly believe it deserves to be preserved. Radiant Mythology is, unlike the other entries on this list, a spin-off crossover game. It features familiar party members from other mothership titles like Symphonia, Abyss, Eternia, and Destiny, but the main character is actually your own OC. You can create your own character, choose a weapon class, obtain a variety of skills, interact with the series characters, explore dungeons, and there was even a crafting system. Radiant Mythology is both unique for a Tales game, but also very fitting. The combat system feels right at home and reminiscent of the mothership titles from that era. It spawned 2 sequels that each build off the previous entry, however none of these were released outside of Japan, excluding the first one. What better way to bring some light to this awfully dead spin-off saga than to package all 3 games into one big remaster? I know I'm biased since, again, this was my first, but even objectively speaking, I don't think there was anything wrong with this line of games that warrants leaving them behind forever, especially when majority of the world never got to experience all the improvements they made in the sequels. Up at number 3, we have what I believe to be a relatively popular pick for a remaster, and that is Tales of Rebirth. This is another title that is not only trapped on an outdated platform, but also never released outside of Japan. Are you sensing a pattern here? All of the reasons I want Destiny Director's Cut apply to Rebirth as well, but the main reason I have this entry relatively high on the list is because I've never actually played it, and I really want to. Funny thing is, I do actually own it. I have it physically, but it doesn't work on my PS2, and I never got around to emulating it. Despite my grievances with bandainamco as a studio, I would absolutely be more than willing to support a legitimate copy of this game on modern platforms. We've definitely been getting a lot of 2D sprite remasters and remakes lately, from Dragon Quest II to Star Ocean to Second Story R, and most recently revealed Final Fantasy Tactics. Tales of is essentially the only franchise in this market that hasn't joined the party yet. While Destiny 1 and 2 would be great choices, I lean more towards Rebirth because of how limited the options to playing it are, and this avoids the risk of lazily ignoring a sequel title. If they won't do Destiny 1 with Destiny 2, then just do Rebirth. The next one is a rather interesting talking point since by all accounts it has already been remade. The problem is that it's been remade for a dead system. That's right, Tales of Innocence. I bet you more astute viewers were expecting me to say Tales of Hearts. Tales of Innocence was originally released for the Nintendo DS and then remade for the PS Vita. Yeah, that speaks for itself. But the even more pressing issue is that both versions of this game, you guessed it, were never released outside of Japan. Now, while there are technically two versions of this game, the one I feel deserves a remaster is Innocence R, the Vita version, for obvious reasons. If Persona 4 Golden can make it out of Vita hell, then Innocence can too. The reason I have this one so high on the list is because it has one of my favorite combat systems in Tales of, and I really want to play these characters comfortably again on a modern platform. Most notably, Hermana. I mean, look at this shit, she's like the best brawler in the whole franchise. Now, the reason I picked this over Tales of 𝐼𝐼𝐲𝐼 is because that one was actually released overseas, so I experienced it. I'm not here to say which of the two is the better game, but I do think the one less people had the opportunity to play should be prioritized. Also, Hermana. Now, I am aware there is an English patch for this game made by some very hardworking and dedicated fans, but that isn't something easily accessible to everyone. Just like Rebirth, Destiny Duology, and the Radiant Mythology series, fans' options for experiencing these games by legitimate means outside of Japan are virtually non-existent. It's why I had such an issue with Symphonia's Remastered being the first one out, since that game is more easily accessible in multiple regions on multiple platforms. I wish banamco would just give more attention to the titles we never got to play, as opposed to the ones we've already played for multiple generations. But that's just me. And last but not least, my number one pick for a Tales game remaster, and probably the most likely to get one in the near future, Tales of the Abyss. Abyss is one of the more well-known and critically acclaimed titles released on two different platforms all over the world. If we take into consideration the idea that banamco will only remaster popular mothership titles, then Abyss is surely one of their priorities. There is still a chance the upcoming remaster announcement won't be Abyss, but it has the highest chance out of all the games listed here today. You probably guessed already, but yes, Tales of the Abyss is my third favorite video game of all time. This game means a lot to me. I've played it on PS2, I've played it on the 3DS, I've emulated it on every PC I've ever owned, and I even got it on my phone. Now, being fair, this game isn't stuck in one region like the other entries, nor is it trapped on one console. But the consoles in question are very outdated, and not everyone has the means or desire to get into emulation. I could go into why I absolutely adore this game, its combat system, world building, cast, storytelling, pacing, level design, boss fights, soundtrack, side content, character development, and more, but I'll save that for another video, maybe. I think it's fair to say the game speaks for itself when it comes to why it deserves a remaster. I wouldn't say it needs one because of how few means there are to experience it. Rather, I think it deserves one because of how masterful it is. More people should be aware of it, and fans like myself should be able to play it again legitimately on our ever-increasingly expensive systems. Even if this isn't the one banamco is teasing, it's bound to happen eventually. It's just a matter of waiting, and I look forward to it every single day. And there we have it. That was my top 5 picks for a Tales of Remastered. Even if the reveal isn't any of these games, I'll be happy nonetheless. Unless they do some dumb shit like 𝐓𝐼𝐧𝐝, knock on wood. But that's enough out of me. Which game are you guys looking forward to? I'd love to hear your thoughts and talk about it in the comments below. Before I close out, I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to my channel members. If you aren't part of the Arrancar army yet, please consider hitting that join button and getting yourself some access to cool perks. Thank you all for watching as always, and yeah, I'll catch you guys whenever.